Amazing. All right, y'all, recording is started. Let's get right into it. I know we all are busy people and want to respect everyone's time. So I do have I'm going to share my screen with y'all. I'm just making sure you can see it.
You're good.
Yeah. Perfect. So again, just a brief recap. Team ELLLA, and we started a year ago. It was 3 of us ladies. We were working together on a team, and we really thought that there was a different way on how to do business, how to grow with others. And after we worked together on a different team for about 4 or 5 years, we said, hey, let's step out of it and let's create something on our own, something bigger than us. We created Team ELLLA. The intent was never to grow anything really bigger. It was really to support one another out. And then naturally, people started knocking on our door and saying, hey, can you help us? We'd love to join what you guys are doing. And little by little, we didn't realize we were kind of starting a movement. I don't know about y'all, if you guys know where Iowa is located. Hands up if you know where Iowa's at, even on the map. Okay, I see some hands, but they're there. Actually, most people, when we get to know them, they're like, there's Latinos in Iowa? That was usually the question we received even when we were at NAHREP. So sí existimos, estamos aquí, somos varios, we're a variety in here, and we were really blessed with the honor of receiving the top 100 teams in the nation at NAHREP by Latitude, and that was why we were there in Miami. We're here to take back those nuggets and share them with you so you can implement it in your business and what you need right now. We're not going to go through everything. It was a 3-day event. It'd be too much to go over, but we're going to highlight the most important things. And with that, the team already knows this. This is how we always start off our day. And I would love for you guys to join us in this. We always say one thing we're at least grateful for, our goals or intentions for the day, and an affirmation. So I'm going to ask you guys to get involved, write it in the chat or unmute and share one thing you're grateful for today.
Yes, let's hear it. Gabe said, I am grateful for health.
Yes.
Oh, my parents, yes, grateful for parents.
Grateful for God. Grateful for my health. Grateful for the support of my family and teams. Yes. Grateful for my health. Grateful for the support of my family and teams. Yes. I think there's an echo, ladies. I don't know who.
Another opportunity to win.
There's an echo, ladies. I don't know. Awesome. So real quickly, thank you for those that are participating. Hey, Mariana, I think there's an echo, girl. I'm sorry. There we go. Sorry, y'all. Thank you for your patience. But no, we like to start off with what we're grateful for because it gets us in the mindset of gratitude. And that's really how we're able to attract all of this abundance within us. Goals for today for me, I just want to share with y'all what my goal is. My goal is to add value to your world today, just even a little bit, bring that little light or spark into your world or your life. And for me, I'm grateful just for the people that are around me, the winner's circle, the opportunity to speak in front of y'all today. It's not something we do every day, but it will change. And then I would love for y'all to help us out with the affirmations. Unmute, say some of these, believe it, because your words become your reality. So with that, if y'all can help me, I wrote some affirmations for us to start off the meeting. And I'll lead it off, and then y'all can join in as we share them. So, I am a magnet for success in every way.
I am a top producer.
I am a master at networking, building strong connections, and negotiator.
I am an unstoppable force.
I have perfect health.
I have perfect health.
Everything I need is within me now.
Everything I need is within me now.
I am always at the right place at the right time.
I'm always at the right place at the right time.
Money, love, abundance, and opportunities come to me in expected and unexpected ways.
Yes.
I open a new escrow today.
Hey, let's go.
Yes, thank you, y'all, for helping and participating with that. Now, I'm going to go into some of the data and information. For us, we really believe that data is power. There's something that people can say, but then if you have the data to back it up, you can't really argue data. So I wanted to share this with 3 of them that really stood out. I'm going to go through the 3, and then I'm going to go back and share why they're so important for you to know. So it says by 2040, 70% of new homeowners are expected to be of Hispanic descent, Hispanic or Latino. 40% of Latinos under 40 are ready to buy, but over 80% don't realize it. And then 26% of all home sales in 2022 went to investors. So I want to pause real quick, and I'm going to go back to them because this is huge. What I would ask y'all is that 7 out of 10 new home buyers by 2040 are going to be Latino or Hispanic descent. I wanted to ask y'all, how many of you are already targeting the Latino market or catering some of your market to them? One of the things for our team that we know very well is that's a niche for us. 6-7 years ago, there weren't a lot of people that looked like us, helping people buy their biggest asset, usually one of their biggest assets in their life. So I share this because I would recommend for you to be intentional, knowing this data and what your marketing and brand is. And if you haven't started, maybe it's something to connect with. We have all of our marketing in both English and in Spanish. And then we communicate with our clients in both ways for updates and things like that, just depending on their preference. The second bullet, where it talks about 40% of Latinos under 40 are ready to buy, but 80% don't realize it. That one blew my mind. That is telling us that we as realtors have a huge opportunity to educate, and they're not getting it. So I go back to some of the trainings that we even have here on the Winner's Circle about marketing and how we're educating. I need to take this advice myself, is you need to be sharing more and more, become that market expert so that people know that they can come to you to teach them if they are ready or not ready to buy. But that shows that we really have a big gap in the market of education. And that's really our jobs. I feel it's our jobs as realtors to do that for them. And the last one, with almost a third of all home sales went to investors, that one just brought my mind of how are you diversifying your clients? Are they all traditional buyers and home sellers? And if they are, look at diversifying, and maybe you host a quarterly event where all your past home buyers, you're teaching them a class on how to become investors and build wealth. But create your own market, your own investors. I listened to one of the top, well, he was the top agent in the country. He sold over like 1,100 units. He said what was his biggest differentiator from going here to here was his institutional clients. So he was purchasing homes for businesses. So I would just ask you, who is in your world, who's in your network that can be that institutional client or that investor for you so that you keep that pipeline going.
And I
Awesome.
also added there, OCO, one of the things with our teams that we coach on is like all the clients that are looking to purchase their first home, we're already planting the seed of them buying their next one and their next one, because sometimes they think that they can only buy one home and it's just a lack of education, or there's just no other, they don't see that far. And so as agents too, educating them of all the options that they have available and start planting that seed. And we've been able to help, I think, clients that are already buying their 4th, their 5th home, because they just, somebody told them that they can start off with one and keep purchasing every year. So letting your clients know and showing them what that could potentially look like.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Maria. Now, one of the main speakers at the event, you guys might know her. I would call her as witty, a boss babe. She's a shark. So we were able to connect and speak with the one Barbara Cochran off of Shark Tank. You guys probably have seen her on TV or on TikToks, but she's a real estate agent and an investor. And her whole presentation was about defying all of the odds. And she went on what she focused on to create what went from a $1,000 loan and turned that into $66 million. So what I want to back up and share with you with her is she came from a small little town of nowhere out in Ohio. And she had big dreams, big goals. She said people called her delusional sometimes. But she didn't care what other people thought. She was like, I want to do this, so she's going to do it. She shared that she went through four like type of recessions. And these are the things that she did to make sure she always stayed up on top. So I'm going to share some of these with you that really resonated. We've heard this all before. This was more of a confirmation and reiteration of, are you actually doing the things that you're learning? And that's something I would ask you. At least take one thing that you're going to take and actually implement. So almost everyone across the board that I talked to, the top 250 agents, they said they're all going back to the basics. And this was something Barbara Cochran talked about in perfecting your craft. How many times have we not heard Gabe even say, become an expert, master your work? So this just, again, they're talking about making calls. How many of us are actually making calls to our clients? Yes, maybe. Okay. I see Heather said me. I believe the stat, don't quote me on this, is about 87% of agents never reach back out to their client after they close. That's a huge gap and a huge opportunity, especially when we're in a business of relationships. Making a call, literally just a touch base quarterly. Hey, how's it going? I'm inviting you to my client event. Whatever that is, I would look back and make sure that you at least are touching them at least quarterly, if not annually, and look at your CRM system to make sure that things are automated for you. The second thing she said is education is everything. We live in a world today where literally we have so much information online by a click of a finger that she said there is no excuse for us not to become experts in our field. No excuse. She talked about door knocking. How many of us are door knocking and seeing some success there? Yes, I saw someone, right? Gabe said his clients always work with him again because they know him, trust him, and hopefully like him. I'm sure they like you for sure. Amanda, she said 99% of my friends on socials. Lupe said me. So y'all, these are the things that are literally working today for the top producers. These are the things they're doing. This is not below us at all. This is how it's going to get you in front of the people that you need to be in front of to make sure you get that next client, that next family, and really make an impact in your community. But none of this works if it's not on your calendar. So she talked about this. She was like, I had a perfect work week calendar, and she went by it. She lives by it. I was having a conversation with a prospective agent, and she was saying how she hasn't been doing much business. So I asked her a question after I learned this. I'm like, do you mind sharing your calendar with me? I saw a lot of blank, a lot of white space. I would go back to you and ask, how much white space do you have on your calendar? And usually that's a correlation directly to why you either are or are not producing or doing the activities you need to make an impact in your community and sell some real estate. It's all in our hands. Literally, it is all in our hands. Now, the second thing is dial in on the client experience. Make them feel like they are the VIPs. Lay out the red carpet for them. This is something our team is actually doing right now and is going back through our process to make sure that we get them to say wow at least 5 times. Because I know if they have a wow experience with us, they're going to come back to us. I know that that's one of the best marketings I like is the free marketing through referrals. And I want to say our business runs off of about 50% referral basis right now. So just making sure you have those systems in place. And I know that's something that a lot of us on this call also have experience and knowledge in. But it went back is, are you the market expert? Make sure you're educating. And the last thing she said is overcome your fear of putting yourself out there. That is something I think, at least for me, it's something I'm working on. I sometimes get afraid. Imposter syndrome hits in, or whatever it is, excuse you want to put out there. But guess what? We're never promised tomorrow. So why not? And that was something Michael Valdez shared with EXP, is one thing he said. He was like, we're never promised tomorrow, so why not? So put yourself out there, make yourself be known. You have so much to give to the world, and there's a light in each and every single one of you, inside of every single one of us, and the world deserves to see that. So I challenge all of y'all to at least make sure you do a post today and share about who you are, why you even got into real estate in the first place. Let them get to know you. Because like I said, why not? And lastly, with the team, I'm going to talk a little bit about this. She talked about retention was really big, but attracting the right people is even bigger. So with that, I'm going to pause. Any questions right now? Or what questions do y'all have? If not, I'm going to keep going.
Rocio, I was gonna say, whoo, I'm over here sweating bullets, girl. I wanted to touch base, going back to how you mentioned the perfect work week calendar. One of the things on our team is we let them know, like, hey, if there's certain topics, certain trainings, or if you want us to accompany you to an appointment, look at our calendars. And it reminded me of, like, they're like, I look at it and I get overwhelmed because there's so much in there, but we basically break it down like 9 to 11. We're here at the office making phone calls. We have a full whiteboard that tells us our goals. So having something visually there that you can look back and see, are you on track or not? Do you have to now work Saturday and Sunday, or where are you at, to kind of see where you're going? Because if you don't know where you're going, how do you know the progress? How do you measure your progress? So I go back to that, looking back at your calendar. If there's one thing you can do right now is look at it and see what you can start implementing, what you can plug in to really make that big of a difference. If that's, the trainings, if that's going out and your lead generation, your social media marketing, whatever that might be, plug it in your calendar right now.
Yes. Awesome. So the second thing Barbara talked about was building a team. I'm going to share the steps that she shared that was really big on creating a successful team. Obviously, she has much experience. She went from $1,000 loan to $66 million to sell her team after she decided she wasn't in the season of real estate anymore. She wanted to spend time with her son. So I'm just going to briefly share what she said, and then I'm going to go back to them. But she talked about perception creates reality. That's why I go back to how you start your day, how you're talking to yourself, the words you use. Those words will become your reality. And even though you're not there yet, believe it and do it as if you already are. Our mind doesn't know the difference between if something has happened or not. So if you want to become the top agent in the world, say that and believe it, but you also have to follow it up with the actions of someone that would be a top producer in the world. That your calendar should look like the top producer in the world and should be filled up with all of those things. But perception creates reality. And I think about marketing, which Maria will hit on a little bit, as to how you make sure that people also view you in that way. The next thing she said was third-party endorsements. This one was huge, and something we really got a hold of was collaboration is the new currency. This is how Barbara exploded. So she was like, y'all, back when I was doing real estate, there was no MLS. The MLS was all on paper. And what she decided to do was she just would take all the listings in a certain area and basically came up with a market report. She decided to call it the Cochrane report. That got a little bit of traction. She was like, not Rocio, but to everyone, she was like, I don't even know if the data was even right. She's like, I wasn't even sure, but she still put it out there. And then eventually, back in the day, Madonna was a big thing. And so she called it the Madonna Report. That Madonna Report got her on the New York Times. New York Times picked that market report up, and now she became known to a lot of people, selling some of the wealthiest, luxurious real estate. So she said, whose back do you got to tie yourself to and hinge to? There can be market trends, whether it's a mentor that you know that can back you up and believes and trusts in you and gives you that endorsement. She said endorsements are everything, even if you know them or not, it sounds like, because that's what she did. The next thing she talked about was containers and expanders. You need to know which one you are and be authentic with yourself. Expander is someone that wants to grow consistently and sees things at a large level. Container is someone that's going to sustain it and maintain business as it is. She said you need to know which one it is and which ones you're hiring. She basically put it, the container is someone you want. Who do you trust your business? Who would you trust having your business in their purse or their briefcase? So just making sure that you're bringing on the right talent and putting them in the right positions will leverage you highly. And some of my favorite ones was hire happy people and spend money on fun. It creates a creative team. Energy is real, y'all. I don't know if you can feel my energy. I'm trying to exude that, but energy is so real, whether that's good, whether that's bad, whether it's sad, happy, whatever it is so real. So make sure you're surrounded by people that you want to be with or be like. It is so important. And one thing I think our team does really, really well is we work hard, but honestly, y'all, we play harder. Whether that's boat outings, whether that's just happy hours, we've done breakfast at the office, so just different things to engage the team on and just have fun. But the golden coin, she said, was recognition. She said agents would rather be recognized, and it meant more than money. And she tried it out both ways. So she said, I created my own internal awards. She was like, there was a golden ribbon, and if they sold 1 million a month or something like that, they would get that golden ribbon. And people would fight for it. Like they were so pumped to get that golden ribbon. For us on our team, we started implementing that as well. We just started having our top agents for the quarter. Top agent for the quarter is Mariana Hernandez, who will be presenting here shortly. And we proudly reserve our VIP spot for her. So she doesn't have to walk far to get in. So I would look at your teams. If you are on a team or you have one, you're leading it. What are the certain incentives and recognition you have for your team agents? And make sure you systematize them. So you have to make it a big deal about what they're doing to incentivize the right actions you want them to do. And lastly, before I pass it on, she talked about great people get back up, fire the others to save the great ones. This one I had to take a pause on because what she was really talking about, she was like, look, all of us get knocked down. She referred to it as like a jack in the box. When he pops up, and then you get back down, and then he got back up, and he just keeps getting back up. She was like, the main difference between a good performer and a great performer, she was like, is how quickly they bounce back. And so what she had to do when times were a little tough, she would go through, make a list, and just look at overhead and who was not getting back up fast enough, that was really lowering their standard. And she let them go because she had to protect the great ones. And I think as leaders in our industry, whether that's clients, whether that's a team, partner relationship, whatever that is, just take a note on that. And I would ask you to internalize it and see, what does that mean for you in your world? And just be true and authentic with that. So with that, I'm going to transition it over to Mariana to share her aha. She's going to be sharing a little bit about authenticity, which will lead right back into the marketing piece.
Thank you, Rocio. Maria, are you going to share here? I can think I can do it. Wait a minute. It's not allowing me to.
I will share, Mariana.
Yeah, can you share it? It's not letting me. Technical difficulties. Awesome. You know, one of the common threads and trends, I'm sorry, that we were seeing throughout the convention was being authentic and truly nailing down who you are as a person and how you show out inside and out, right? Whether that's in business and family, leadership, wherever. So one of the things that really stood out to me was one of the breakout sessions was with Jeff Mendez. And y'all, I wish I could share with you all the motivational things, but I really wanted this to be a little bit intentional and a little bit interactive. So Jeff Mendez, he's the founder of 168 Productions, and he is huge on living the day by design and not default. So he asked the serious questions, and the purpose of this is to truly know and answer these questions to your own, to then introduce yourself to the world and anyone that you meet, and sticking to that. And it can change, right? Like goals, life changes. But I'll be asking a series of questions, and this is truly what he asked us. And I can share mine too, but I would love to hear, you know, some of y'all's answers to these questions. So a couple bullet points that he started off with was living my day by design, not by default. I own my day. And y'all, one of the crazy stats that he shared was that it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert in something. And I feel like we've heard it before, right? So really take the time to deepen that question and say, wow, it really takes that much to be an expert in everything that we do, whether that's reading books or building the team or whatever, building processes, right? So before we start, he asked us in the class to introduce ourselves to the person next to us. However, it was a little different. You know, usually when we introduce ourselves, we like to start off with our name and what we do. So can someone unmute themselves? And so we asked to introduce yourselves with 3 words that describes you. Without name, without what you do. Can someone unmute? Does anyone want to participate and unmute themselves and introduce yourself with 3 words? How would you introduce yourself with 3 words? Anyone?
I will. Compassionate,
thank you.
relatable, and empathetic.
Yes, and if I didn't know Amanda, you know, just with hearing that, you get a different perspective of that person, right? Because you have now a deeper level of who she is, right? With those 3 words. So I challenge you to take out your notebooks, take it out right now. If you're driving, be safe, but take it out right now and really take the time to answer these questions and then go back to it. So he talks a little bit about some laws, and one of the laws that he talked about is the law of the harvest. So I'll just read it out. It says that in life, we will reap what we sow, we will reap more than we sow, and we will reap later than we sow. Good choices like seeds ultimately bring forth good fruit as a reward. I'm going to get into the questions that he asked, and then we can share a little bit of, if anyone wants to share what this means to you. So my why. Can you go to the next one? Thank you. So my why. Why do we do the things that we do every day? Is that for someone? Is that for yourself? Is that for your parents? Why do we do the things that we do, and what gets you out of bed? So what really makes you even almost want to cry because this is your why? So take a minute to write it down. I would love for someone to unmute, and if you already know your why or you're still working through your why, we can we can hear out anyone and dive deep. Anyone? I can share my why actually. So my why that I wrote down is to break generational cycles, to bring a better future for my legacy and lead by inspiration for others to do the same. That is my why. So I'm almost choking up right now, right? Because that is how and why, that's why your why needs to have you become a little emotional and keep you pushing forth, right? It needs to be bigger than you.
My why is I want to show the world that they're able and capable of doing anything as long as you put in the work, because I've seen it.
Mhm. Yes, if you can do it, anyone can do it, right? And I can tell that was a little, got a little choked up. But take a minute and write that down. I would love for you guys to just write, even just writing down the answers, right? And go back and truly move the needle, you know, in your everyday life for that. We can go to the next one. What makes me happy? So who or what brings you joy? It can be now, or it can be something that you want to accomplish for the future. That's what makes you happy. Is it enough to motivate you to stay true to your commitments? And notice that I'm not talking about goals, right? These are commitments. These are commitments that it's almost like you are going to fail within yourself or fail someone if you don't do them. So take a minute to write it down. And again, you know, if anyone wants to unmute and just blurt out, or even in the chat, just tell me what makes you happy, what brings you joy. I know for me is spending quality time, not quantity, quality time with those that are within my life, whether that's my friends, my kids, you know, being able to go to birthday parties, you know, stuff like that. That's what brings me joy, is surrounding myself with others that is going to really exude that energy around me and that like-minded mindset.
Mariana, we have one that Gabe shared his why. It's to create the best version of myself and then turn around and gift that person to the world. That's powerful.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes. The next one. The next one. So what comes to me naturally? So let me explain this one a little bit more in detail. So focus on your skills, right? So for me, I know naturally comes, people just, I don't know why, and this can be at stores, or I've never even met the person, but I have that, and I don't even know if it just comes to me naturally, is I allow the space for people to come to me and just tell me who they are, or tell me what's going on. And so naturally to me, that what comes to me, it's just that personal connection, whether I know them or not. So focus on those. What are your skills? So it can be you can sell anything to anyone, you are a numbers person, you have a way with words, etc. Someone wrote in the chat, I want to help people with.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Lupe shared because I want to help people with what they may believe may not be possible. That's amazing, Lupe.
That's huge. Can someone, Rocio, I know you're naturally just at numbers, girl. Anything else that you wanna that comes naturally to you?
Numbers for sure. Soccer, just naturally. And then also, I think for me is I have a gift of seeing the magic or light in others, even when sometimes they're not able to see it.
Yes, I agree, girl. We can go to the next one. So what's my message? How do you want to be remembered by? And really diving deep into this and exuding that in everything that you do, whether that's in business and family and leadership and within your team, within your own business, right? It's what is your message, and are you sharing that message with others, you know, with your clients when you have that one-on-one consultation? How do you want to be remembered by? Does anyone want to share theirs? Or in the chat? Oh, yes, Cherish. Oh, my top 3 spiritual gifts are mercy showing.
Shepherding, mercy
Wait,
showing,
so-
and serving from Amanda. Yes, they are, Amanda. I can just say it just because I know you too, but it's amazing.
That is.
I feel like my message, I sometimes I need some time to think about it, Mariana, and I didn't get to go into this session, so it's the first time I'm learning about this. But when I think about it, I want to leave a legacy. I want to make an impact on the world, a positive impact. And again, just let them know that if I can do it, they can do it. And there's nothing that you can't do. And I just want them to know that they can.
Yes, and actually, Rocio, that is something that I wrote down too. If I can do it, so can you, so can anyone. There's an abundance of everything to go around, right?
Bex shared, I want to be remembered by how I make people feel. That's so powerful, Bex.
Yeah, people will remember how you made them feel, not what you say.
Mhm.
Absolutely. The last one or the next one? Okay, so what is the white space in my business? So because we are in the real estate business, real estate industry, what is that white space? So to me, that meant, and I think I wrote it down too, is he explained it as is there anything missing in your business to move the needle forward? And what is that? So is that maybe hiring an admin because you're so busy now that you need someone to take on that 80%, right? For you to focus on your 20%. Is that creating processes and systems within your business to allow you to have that perfect daily schedule? What is that for you? And he also talked about the law of creation. So this law states that everything is created from emptiness through yin and yang interaction. So yin and yang are 2 basic elements that make up everything. Yin and yang are opposite, relative, co-created, inseparable, and codependent. So what is that white space for you? And lastly, and I'll be completely honest with everybody, I was having trouble with this one. What is my brand? How do people know you? I know one of our team goals is to become like mini celebrities in town, and I feel that we slowly are. We were at a like a class, and someone came up to us and they were like, "Hey, you guys are you're the ladies from the podcast." So it was really cool that people just know you from what you do, right? What you put out there. So what is your brand? I also, an example for me is I want to make it known that I'm, and I posted it on my Facebook too, is I'm a mother that just happens to sell real estate. And just because we're women in this industry, we can do it all, right? Anything that we want, anything that inspires us. So it also consists of consistency, how your leadership is, your knowledge, and the audience knowledge. Do they know who you are? Are you putting it out there? And how do you want to be remembered by? Take a minute to write it down. Does anyone want to share what their brand is, like what they have created for themselves?
Beck said, my brand is to be of service in business and in life.
Service, yes. That's awesome. So I really took taking all these questions down, going back to authenticity and being in the business of real estate, is how can you take these questions and taking it into marketing, is essentially what I always go back to. And it can change, right? But what are you doing in your day in and day out? And it's something that I know that I'm working towards, but is taking these questions and it's something that you can also use to put out there on social media. And it really comes down to who you are as a core, and that's why people work with you. And I'll leave that to Maria, because she's going to then weave into the marketing side of things. We learned a lot, I would say, on marketing as well. So, Maria.
Thank you, ladies. There's so much stuff you guys have already touched on that I completely forgot. And I think that happens to a lot of us, right? We go to these conventions, we go to these events, ready to take down so many notes. And here you are, every class, every session that you go to, you're writing down all these notes. But what really are you implementing? Like, let's be honest, how many of those things, how many of you really, after going to these sessions, you sit down and you're like, I'm going to implement at least 3 of those things? Did that only happen to me at the beginning, where I would leave with like a whole notebook full of notes, page after page, circles and everything. And I would come back and all I would get from that was motivation. And so one thing I want to start off with saying is, what I learned really quick was, when you are getting ready to go to an event, or even just a training, what's your intention behind that training? Why are you attending it? There's a reason it caught your attention, right? There's a reason why you're in that room. And being more purposeful with what you want to get back from that. So this time around, my intention for NAHREP was really, one of the things I want to do for myself and for the team specifically is grow our brand, our image, our social media. Here in the Midwest, is for whoever's in the Midwest, everything hits. Somebody told me 10 years later, it hits in the West Coast first, and the East Coast, and mountains, y luego it comes to the Midwest. So we have to work 10 times harder, faster, to get to take advantage of, you know, everything that's already being done outside and bring it here. So that was really my intention for NAHREP this year, is to go to the social media, anything about marketing, anything about branding. And I narrowed down all the classes that I went to and put together 10 marketing tips that I feel like was a consistent thing that they were saying. We're very thankful to have a ton of social media realtors that are doing it at a very high level, but somehow, in some way, when you hear it from different people, it just hits different, right? They might say it one way, and then you hear from somebody else, and it just, you're like, oh, okay, ahora entiendo. Like, that's what they meant. And so I wanted to write down the 10 things that I think will help me really get a game plan for our brand, our social media, and our marketing all together for our team. Because I'll be very transparent with you guys. We started our Instagram page about a year ago, and we even have this picture. I should have downloaded it. We had, at the time, we had interns from that were in high school, and they helped us create the Instagram. We even took a picture of them holding up the phone, like literally like this. And we were like, this is the beginning of something new. And so from there, we were kind of inconsistent. We were posting here and there. We didn't really have a game plan. And one of the things our coach, and I hear it from even the top 250 agents on a mastermind that we went, is try to like have everything automatic. Like, there's certain posts that I see all of us posting, like just listed, just pending, under contract, accepted offer. Have something where you just have that same template and you're posting it over and over again. Because what's your intention with your social media? For us specifically on our team ELLLA, we want to shout out our agents. We want to show collaboration, that we're unified, we're a team. We have the same color schemes in our branding. If you guys go to our Instagram page, which I'll post at the end, you'll see our colors are all really the same, because we want people to start seeing our logo. Once they see it, they know, oh, that's Team ELLLA. Like, hey, yes, go to Team ELLLA. And so these are the 10 marketing tips I want to get into. So number 1, identifying your key audience. So who is that for you? So I would write this down. Who is your key audience? I have some of you guys share who you think your key audience is, or who you're targeting? For example, for mine is young professionals. I am looking at my social media and the posts that I'm publishing and my analytics, which is something we'll talk about. And a lot of my followers are between the ages of 25 and 40. These are all my young professionals. So my key audience is young professionals. Gabe says young to mid-age couples and families. I love that. So identify your key audience. The next one, everyone knows it, but somehow we don't seem to be consistent. But being consistent, posting, that does not mean, actually, in a raise of hand, who at least posts once a week? Rocio, Jess, America, Evelyn. Okay. So consistency, what I saw was twice a day with at least 5 stories a day. And so that gets you, like, I have an agent that I follow, and every morning when I wake up, the first person I see is them, aka Gabe Mendez. He's always posting. Like, I wake up and I see Gabe, like, there he is again. So like the algorithm starts putting you up there, right? So on that note as well, they mentioned, how are you encouraging people to share your content? Like, if you're just posting a accepted offer, what are you trying to say with that? Where is the call to action? And so our team has been very heavy on using ChatGPT on coming up with call to actions. Hey, can you, here's the post I'm going to be doing. Give me a call to action to add at the end of this caption. Use that to your leverage to kind of get ideas. If that's even, it doesn't even have to be real estate, it could be just your personal stuff, to kind of wrap them, have them go back and remind them that you're doing real estate. The other thing is engage and interact with your audience. How many of us just post and then turn our phone off, and then you'll see these notifications coming and we don't interact with them? You have to. So one of the techniques that they mentioned is the 5-5-5 technique. Has anybody, on a raise of hands, has anybody heard of this 5-5-5 technique? No? Okay. So the 5-5-5 technique just helps increases your brand. So every day, take 5 people and comment on their post. Choose 5 more people to DM them with a message. And it can't just be like one sentence, like actually be thoughtful of the message that you are relaying to them. And then react to 5 more people who have shown love on your social media. How many of us are really doing that? I think about like some of the most, the people that interact with your posts the most. Like, I know on our Facebook page, we're very heavy on our older Latino community there, and all of our past clients, we add them after closing. They are the ones that share all of our stuff. They even share them into like the groups, the buy and sell, the Mercadito Latino Des Moines. Like, they are putting all of our stuff in there and building that brand awareness. So who are your VIP social media clients? The other thing is collaboration. Rocio touched base on this, and this one really hit for me because collaboration is the new currency, right? So how can you grow your presence, and how can you get in front of people that you are not touching, that might not be your sphere, is collaborate. If that's going to, interviewing other people, local shops, if that's even with your lenders, doing a quick video, informative video with your vendors, all of that, tag them and add them as collaborators to get in front of their sphere as well. So being purposeful. The other one is storytelling. This was huge. Everyone, the whole top 250 were talking about that. Like, now it's a matter of bringing value and how you tell the story. Like, people need to connect or else they're going to keep swiping. So storytelling, when you post, what story you're trying to get across? Go back to your post that you have done before and look at how you can amplify that with adding just an additional verbiage in there to kind of mold it into a story. And then video content. I know we're all huge on video content now. Some of the things that they mentioned is 30 seconds is the best to have. Anything after that, no ponemos atención. We'll just keep sliding. So 5 stories a day minimum. Content should be informative and engaging. Don't just post to post, like actually make it valuable to somebody. Green screens were huge. This is one that we're going to be doing on our team, but green screens just showcasing a house in the back and you're just talking about it or walking through it. That gets a lot of engagement right now. Adding even voiceover feature would be huge. How are all these people able to come up with so much content? Is they said batch your content, like actually put aside 2 to 3 hours to record videos all at once. If that's bringing in multiple outfits, like just do it and get it done. Use Canva to have a content calendar as well. You can go in there and just already program your videos or have a game plan of what you're going to be post. Because how many of us are going to post and then we're like, well, what should we post about? One less thing to think about. Analytics. If you haven't yet on your Instagram, if you go into your settings, check out your analytics. Go in there and see what people are actually viewing or spending more time viewing. What are they liking more? What are they swiping real quick for? So that way you can see what people are liking or what they're not and post more of that. Community building. Your goal is to build a community with your social media. To really attract those individuals that understand you, that they see you and they're like, oh my God, that's me. Like I can relate. That's the main goal, because those are actually the people you want to work with. Sometimes it's like you don't have to work with everyone. And if you're posting for everyone, you're posting for nobody. They want to relate to you. And then the last few things, because I know we have a few minutes, is be authentic. We said this multiple times. Be authentic. Imposter syndrome is real. I've been posting more and more, and thank you to everyone that has been sharing love and even saying like, thanks for posting and all that. But I literally had imposter syndrome thinking like, that's not really me. But honestly, if you get to meet me, I am like this 24/7 with my family, with my friends. Like it's just crazy. So just be authentic. You're in your highest vibration when you're authentically you. So remember that. And last but not least, don't be afraid to dive into emerging trends. AI is the biggest one. Use that to your advantage. Realtor.com actually started using AI to have clients go in there and build their dream home. So they get to choose their color, they get to choose how big, if it's a 2-story, a ranch, the area. And then what they do is once that client customize that house, then it searches for houses exactly like that in that area and give them options. So instead of thinking right like everyone, think left. What is everyone not doing that you should be doing and hopping on that train? Those are the 10 marketing tips. I'm gonna say this out loud. We're gonna build our social media so huge that we're just gonna build a whole community to help each other, because ultimately as Team Maya and as myself and the ladies, one of the things we want to do is just build the next level of leaders and really amplify and help everyone think beyond what they think they could do, because it's so doable. So thank you guys. I want to leave our social media here. If you guys follow us, we'll definitely follow you back. Also, I've added our QR code because Rocio had mentioned at the beginning, we do a lot of our branding is in Spanish and English. So we want to gift you guys our Spanish and English buyer timeline that we go over and we use for all of our clients. That gets us to the agency sign 10 out of 10 times. Every client usually signs with us. If they don't, they're not really ready, but we want to be able to provide that to you. So if you scan that, there's going to be a link where it'll take you straight to that buyer timeline.
Thank you so much, everybody. I think the link, Maria, takes them to our link tree. Is there somewhere where they're supposed to go exactly to get that?
Yeah, so it'll take you to our link tree, and then the top bar is going to say the buyer timeline. Just click on that and it'll take you straight to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Winner Circle, today. It was amazing to be in front of all of y'all. However we can help, send a DM. You can send us a message. We're here to help. Estamos a sus órdenes. And with that, can we take a photo real quick, y'all?
Oh, yes.
Are you guys ready?
Turn on the beautiful cameras, pretty up.
1. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Thank you guys. We appreciate you
Thanks,
so
y'all.
much.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Thank
you.
you.